Okay, so um, I'm drawing a blank. I did an auction, and I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. Oh my god! I just pulled a clump of hair out of my dog's ear. That's wild. All right. Again, I don't really want to edit these. These are going to be as what would you call that? Just unedited as possible, no matter how goofy that sounds. I found a website that does auctions. I've been really excited to do that. And I participated in my first auction buying stuff, and I won a like lot, LOT lot. It's basically like a group or a bundle of stuff for some people who don't know what that means. Of like antique hunting manuals and licenses and stuff like that. It's really a hodgepodge. It was a fat stack like that big for $10. And I was just interested in that kind of stuff and was also wondering if there's anything in there I could resell. So I'm going to break down some of the stuff I found and I don't know, just kind of catalog it, if you will. I saw this Jack Pine Lodge from Annistique, Michigan. I just thought this was kind of a unique old business card. I actually looked up online. This place, not anywhere near me, but is still open to this day. It's one of those old school business cards where before GPS really, and you had to map, they had like a rudimentary way to get to them on the back of their card. I thought that was pretty cool. And then again, just sort of the um, sportsman in the background with just green lettering on the font. I thought that was really cool. Um, yeah, I kind of want to keep that. I was thinking if I ever get up there and find those people, I'd bring them that and just say, here, if you want a vintage card of like your business, and if they don't want it, I'll keep it. But I don't know, we'll see. An old fishing sort of warranty information booklet for Berkley rods. I am not the biggest fisherman. Like I'll probably bank fish and dock fish most of the time. So, I mean, I'm sure other people do too, but just again, and I'm also like 30 years old, and this is probably from the 70s or something. 72. Yeah. This is old school. It's just a packaging bag package for a deer call, and it is the tag on there says Jay's Sporting Goods. That's a like mid northern Michigan. That's a pretty big, sort of like a family owned smaller level Cabela's, but it's really cool, really good place. So that was pretty cool. Again, sort of a deer on there. Thought that was interesting. A lot of this stuff I'm going to try to list on eBay, see what I can sell. Cute little booklet again from Berkley, but it's on fishing tips. And I thought the happy fish and worm on there was pretty cool. Little guarantee thing. So go in there and showing you important do's and don'ts. Thought that was really cool. Part of me might want to keep that actually in case when my wife and I have kids, that might be kind of cool to show. Yeah, I think I actually will. That just became a keep. That's pretty cool. Wouldn't mind showing that to my kids as far as do's and don'ts for stuff. Plus, I can learn something more. Again, some of this stuff is I don't really want to show people's addresses, but like an old postcard. And it actually has like a letter in there, which I thought was cool. A little covered bridge. May your Christmas be a season of merriment. And again, nothing really profound there, but just an interesting old card from probably the 70s. And there's another card. It's a Christmas gift for a fisherman. Doesn't tell me when this was manufactured, but this is kind of cool. And then on the inside is a hope your Christmas measure bigger too. And it's just like a Delier, I think it says. Yeah. Don't know what this is, but it's at Charlotte Brothers of the, what does it say? The Brush. I don't know if it was a fraternity of groomers or pirates. I'm not sure. It says Bourne's Buccaneers, 1863 to 1963, chapter 27. I wonder if they ever finished the book. All right. This is a little patch that says Remington. That's either for cleaning guns or for explosively blowing your nose. I don't know. This is a business card that said Wildlife Reflections Taxidermy. And for those who don't know what taxidermy is, it is taking deceased animals and I don't know if manipulating them is the best way to phrase it, but typically taking the body and then chemically altering it in a sense to put it on display and then treating it to put it on display, sometimes by itself or mounted on a piece of wood or some sort of like habitat. So I don't know. Again, people think that's kind of stuff's cool. I do. My wife and I own one, and we're looking to get more. So, Hummingbird LCR Portable Owner's Manual. Don't know what this is. LCR Portable. I'm 3 paragraphs in, losing interest rapidly, and it just tells me what batteries it takes. So, if you're interested, Google yourself. Good shooting with your new imported Swift rifle scope and pistol scope with a man with really strong double eyesight, because one eye's looking down the rifle scope, the other one's looking up a telescope. So maybe he is cross-eyed or has fish eyes. I don't know. It just goes into a little bit of information on said product. Let's see when this is marked. This was printed in Korea. Cool. It doesn't tell me a date. All right, way to go, Korean. All right, they have a good barbecue. This is an old South Bend in multiple. I'm not going to go into this thing. You can clearly see it's. Well, this is a fishing reel. It's not a pencil sharpener for those who might turn it upside down. Definitely not a pencil sharpener. So, yeah, we'll see. Okay, back to the portable Hummingbird thing. I actually have a picture of this. I wonder if it's for locating fish. Probably is. A depth sounder. That makes a lot of sense. So, depth sounder with a portable owner's manual. Okay. Cool. I don't know. Never had one of those. I've always just relied on standing in place for 6 hours and praying to God I got lucky. Old newspaper. All right. Trying to see if there's anything worthwhile here. There's a. It's got to be from the 90s or something. Or is this from the early 2000s? Oh, it's literally from June 7, 2000. A classic canoes recalls an earlier America. Never had a canoe, and don't know if I ever owned one. But that's weird and interesting. More things on scopes and instruction for version 7, version 9, Weaver scopes. Don't have any of those. I'm going to get flack for this. I'm trying to draw. I'm drawing a blank. What's the scopes? The scopes your dad has a lot of.
Nikon.
Yeah, he's got another one.
He has a Vortex and Leopold now.
I think it's the Leopolds. That's what I have with him. Literally. No, Vortex. Thank you, Vortex. Yeah. Probably embarrassed to say that, but I couldn't remember the name of the scope I have. Leopold. Nope, Vortex. Good Lord. I never had this as Vortex. My father-in-law got me, so shame on me. I haven't taken it out to shoot very often, so you'll have to forgive me. I typically go iron sights or I shoot pistols, so that's predominant. Bushnell. Bushnell. I would love to know one day what inspired the name, but I don't feel like Googling it. So, little important suggestions. Not going to go into that. The San Francisco Music Box Company, the Collectors Club, and you might hear a toilet running in the background. Some sort of bill on this. Again, this is from so long ago that I'm not really worried about displaying it. It's from 1987. Actually, December 14th, 1987. Unique. So they're literally just music boxes. It just says the bill of receipts for $41.55 with tax, and it was for something that says Carl's Horse. LG Carl's Horse. So hopefully Carl's Horse was a nice horse for Carl. This is an old Game Hunters map, and I think there might be 2 of these. It's for the Shiawassee State Game Area or something like that. And then it kind of gives you just rules. Oh, for 1980. So, by the Michigan DNR, Department of Natural Resources, for those who don't know what DNR stands for in Michigan. 1980 special use and hunting rules. I'll just kind of slowly, like Star Wars intro credits, roll that up. Cool. If you want to know more, you can weirdly find it on my eBay and then buy it. Narrow Lake Ballroom. Cool. Michigan's finest ballroom and bar. And again, little old school advert where it has the map on the back. I think that's kind of interesting. Again, in an age of like instant gratification through GPS, it's kind of neat to see that stuff where, you know, we kind of had to think on our feet. I remember back on a family reunion trip I took with my mom, sister, and then my grandfather driving. We were in Pennsylvania and we couldn't find where we were trying to go from the hotel to like the event park, and we had to use a map. And that's the only time I think I ever helped actually use a map, and I didn't have to until I was 18. And then we had GPS like readily available, so that was cool. And it was on the phone too. It wasn't that TomTom stuff. 1974 Michigan Waterfall Hunting Guide. I would really like to duck hunt and or turkey hunt eventually. Sky busting cripples. I don't even, is that politically correct anymore? Are we even allowed to say that? The sky busting part? Let them come in close. I don't know. That's kind of sounds, let them come in close. That kind of sounds like the catchphrase for like a serial killer. Department of Natural Resources. And this was for, I guess, all over Michigan because there's several counties, so there's a lot of counties. There's reminders, and then there's, I guess, like game areas listed by county, which is kind of interesting. And then there's kind of a slew of those, but for different ones. There's 74 to 75 for big game. Yep. 62 for Fish Law Digest. Didn't know there was a whole law on what fish can digest, but good to know. More information on what fish can digest. Apparently their diets are very particular. 64 on Michigan Fish Law Digest. Apparently there was a lot of attorneys out of that school that graduated. There's Limberjack, not to be confused with Lumberjack. Apparently it's about a man who went up a hill to fetch a pail of water, but the pail ran dry, so sucks for him. Another Shiawassee, 2 for the price of 1, so that'll be interesting. See if we can't sell those for a couple bucks. How to be a top-notch bait caster. Everything you need to know in this red book. How to become a master baiter for 20 cents. Shakespeare Company in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Spinning. Techniques and tackle for better spinning. 1986 Michigan Fishing Guide. 2 years after the Tigers won the World Series. So, yep, last time they won. So, God, please bless them, let them win one more time before my mom dies, because that'd be nice for her to have. Barry County, home of Dairy Dingle. That's where the name came from. Yep. And I guess it's sort of like an advertisement. Oh, folds out into this giant map of things that you could do if you lived there during that time, because they no longer exist because of other stuff. Yep. Look at all that stuff you can't do anymore. Isn't that great? And then if you flip in the back, it's a bunch of pictures of people who... good Lord, where's that? Basically a bunch of people who look like when they make a horror movie and they say based off a true story and they show the families, it's basically everybody in these photos. They, like 12 people in a family fit into like a cabin that's like 300 square feet, and then they all got like possessed. So sucks for you. Don't go to Barry County. All right, Paul's Gun Shop with a deer with a nice rack on it. And for Paul's Gun Shop, apparently it's owned by Gene Burns, so I don't really get that. Where good guns and good hunters meet, good God. Let's see. You open it, it's empty. However, it also has, it's from the year 2002, which is irrelevant, but it's there. And 1988, an old instructional manual for a Ruger 1022 semi-auto rifle, chambered in 22 LR, for those who don't know what the 22 means. And I think one of our dogs just made a really bizarre digestion noise. That wasn't you? It's probably Riley. Okay. That was strange. Old Remington / DuPont. Looks like a sporting firearms ammunition catalog of some sort. That's really cool. That sort of white. Okay. That's really interesting. Reminds me of like kind of from the. Oh, that's actually nice. The model 572. Oh, that kind of looks bare bones. That 22. Yeah, it is a 22 action. Let's see if we can't go through some of this stuff. Old school freaking firearms. This is back in the day when you can go get like a 12 gauge from like Sears and Roebuck. You could probably have this stuff shipped to your house too. Ooh, some one of those 16, those 12, 16, 20. I have just kind of started getting into 20 gauges myself. I actually really like them. They've got a lot less kick than a 12 gauge. I could shoot 12 all day, especially with a recoil pad, but the 20 is just kind of fun. Nice plinking. I have a 20 gauge coach gun side by side, and that thing is just fun. Shooting off shells, making stuff gong. So, a couple more pages here. Oh, it's really cool. I don't know. I'm tempted to keep this. It's very interesting. I'm a big Remington guy as far as like memorabilia and items like that, and kind of like this old school. I don't know. I guess we'll see what's cooking. That'll probably go in the keep pile for now. That can go over there. We have an owner's manual for a Marlin 336 Charlie C lever action. Marlin's gone to, so there's your, I guess they have a few more, but like your what do you call them, your 10 commandments, but there's more on here for firearm safety, which is cool, very important. Firearms are a tool and we should be safe with them. Wow, they used to have a lot of service centers. What else is in here? Does this thing like fold out? It's sort of like a pseudo large booklet. Oh, okay. Kind of shows you obviously some operational information / cleaning. Very cool. I don't know. This stuff's just very interesting to me. Definitely from a time long ago. I didn't really have guns around me when I was growing up, so this kind of stuff's very interesting. Here's another little, it's a pocket guide by Marlin for hunters. I definitely want to keep this. I thought this was interesting. It does your 10 commandments. Well, I'll show you the index. 10 commandments of fire safety. Pardon me, of firearm safety. There's hunter ethics, which I think is very interesting. Hunter landowner relations, which I'm very thankful to hunt on my family-in-law's property. Conservation facts, and then hints for hunters. So I thought that'd be really cool to keep in my like hunting outfit and kind of study this between missing shots at deer. This I thought was really interesting. Michigan Hunting and Trapping Guide, 95 to 96. I thought the decal and the coloring was really cool. Again, by DNR. But I like this one because my wife was born in 95, and I like finding stuff that's either 94 or 95. Just kind of makes me feel, I don't want to say connected, that's weird, but it's just fun. And then I found this one, 1994 for fishing guides. Thought that'd be cool for Michigan. Again, little thing relevant to my birth date, and then there's 3 bears in a boat, so that's kind of cool because I like bears. And then I found this too, this Fred Trost's Outdoors Club. My father-in-law told me a funny story about that guy, and he was an interesting fella. So I won't go into details on that for those who like him, but weird guy. I found this. This is kind of a funny little sign. It's a 2-legged deer license to drink, smoke, and chase women on the pretense of deer hunting. So, yeah, we'll see how well I do at deer hunting, and I may have to deploy this. Nothing. JC Christmas Edition from 1974. Albion wins All-America Sewer Award. Back when the days and the times were so peaceful, we could talk about each other's crap. That sounds good. City's problems go down the drain. Very cool. Bingo Street. Yeah. What else do we got? Little tag, very interesting. Automatic repeating rifle, 22 caliber, Springfield. Get that out of the way. It's a nice little box. Interesting. J. Stevens Arms Company, Chicopee Falls, Massachusetts, US of A. Very interesting. Very cool. What is this? Oh, this one's, I don't know. This is a little risque. It's called Powder Room Types, and it has a bunch of, nothing directly nude, but it has a bunch of different types of women and how they use the restroom. And it's interesting. I don't really want to show that on screen. A little 10-cent stamp album. It looks like, yeah, for the purchase of U.S. war savings bonds. Very interested to see how that does. I don't know. I don't think I've listed that yet. This is printed from 1942. That's quite an interesting find. I don't trying to be gentle with this. I don't see any any stamps put in here. But yeah, very interesting. I heard that FDR collected stamps, which again, I don't really know much about the hobby other than simply putting them in a book, but I used to do that a little bit with coins when I was a young kid, so I guess I kind of understand that. I'm looking at another auction for this shotgun, but I've kind of bowed out of it because I really don't want to pay the price on it. But Ithaca, which is a firearms company, makes a Featherlight repeater, but more importantly, the model is a 37. It's a deluxe deer slayer. It's a 12 gauge, and actually I'm finding this on a totally separate auction. These are two pieces of both a purchase tag as well as a owner's manual. So I thought that was very cool that sort of lucky of like finding the two separate pieces, but then also finding the firearm itself. So again, I don't really want to spend the money it's bidding at right now, but I may keep that and hope for like a future auction or something that a little more my price line, and or if these are worth enough money on eBay, I'll try to sell them there just for some more pocket money. Kind of wrapping up here. Another thing I saw that I really liked was a Watch That Muzzle. Kind of reminds me of like maybe old school cartoons of like the World War ones with Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck or something, when they'd have like those huge cannons and sort of like that red off-color like sky, but it's the 10 Commandments of firearm safety, and pretty simplistic, but again, something very nice to keep for your children and or yourselves if you're a collector. But I really like this stuff. Safety first, and just done in a very kind of tasteful, interesting way. There is a very good quality, not ruffled at all, old map of like Lansing MSU campus. I didn't really see a date code on it. Pardon me, copyright 1961. So it may be within that sort of time frame. Obviously, the copyright can go above and beyond, but still, I don't know. Very good copy, and I'm sure to somebody it's a collector / something to have. So we'll kind of keep an eye on what that's worth on eBay and go from there. And then we had this little photo album booklet from a drugstore, back when drugstores apparently used to do, I mean, they kind of still do with CVS and Walgreens and stuff, but very interesting. A lot of stuff from Michigan, which is cool, and the lighting's going to change. My ears are going to absolutely glow, so I'm going to have to lean up a little bit so they don't look like alien ears. Because that light's killing me from back. Lake of the Clouds. It's in Michigan. That's a nice old school freaking postcard. We'll keep that probably. See if we can't separate a few of these, because I think some of these double up. This is interesting. It's an old school like rank insignia recognition for, I believe, the Marine Corps. And then it was a postcard at one time. Again, looks like 1942. That's pretty interesting. Dated to somebody, so hopefully they were staying safe. Oh, yes, this was from somebody in the military. Private Marine Corps, so God bless and thank you for your service. That's really cool, actually. Yeah. Appreciate that. Harbor at Silver City, Michigan. It's kind of nice looking. I have not been there yet. Maybe we have to put that on our to-do list. That's pretty cool. And this was published by the Ontonagon Herald Company in Ontonagon, Michigan. Isn't there one of your dad's friends who says it really weird? Or does Dad make fun of it or something?
One of Dad's friends.
How does he say it?
Ontonagon.
Ontonagon? Yeah. Okay, well, we're not that weird. So, okay, we'll set that one aside. Here is the Cascades Clubhouse and Ground Sparks Foundation in Jackson, Michigan. This is owned by one of the Jackson Five. It was either Tito or Jermaine, not sure. However, it was never used as a postcard because that's after they broke up and Latoya came in. Home of Mr. and Mrs. Sparks, so more Sparks. Yes, very cool. Looks very expensive and hard upkeep, so even with zero turn, I wouldn't want to cut that. Middle Fountain Pool, Cascades, more Sparks Foundation. So must be some really nice benefactors for that area. That looks like a very lovely fountain park area, but wow. Times were different back then. Vivid Night Scene, again, Jackson, Michigan. I've only been to Jackson a couple times, and they were more for business, so short runs in there. So I'm actually quite surprised by how nice. Granted, these are 30 to 60 years old, I think, at this point, but quite nice postcards, remarking what used to be there or what they used to look like. So very cool. Bridge from Belle Isle, Detroit. This was used as a postcard. There is some wording on back. That's very pretty. The river might still be there, but I would not swim in it or eat the fish. I mean, you can, I think, at this point, but like you're better off eating like lettuce from Taco Bell, so your choice. Greetings from Sault Ste. Marie. Look at this one actually has a George Washington stamp on it for 1 cent. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit because he's got a big nose. Yeah. His head is in a different zip code from his nose, but God bless him. Here is a rather old, I believe, old photograph of two men behind one of those, like if you go to like an attraction or a place and they have like the cutouts that where you can put your head over and then the body's different. That's kind of interesting. Maybe brothers or cousins or friends or something. The guy on the left looks like he belongs in the movie The Shining, so I don't want to see him anymore. We have one. There is a woman with her hands above her head at a beach, and she's nude, so we're not going to show that. It says, "Greetings from Atlanta, Michigan." And without going into too much detail, she has the butt cheeks of a frog. And she actually has like with respect to my wife here, she actually has a fair figure and she still has frog cheeks. So, all right, we've left all of our troubles behind, and it's three relatively plump, butt-sized women. Yeah, you go, ladies. Ship postcard, you can read that. Eugene Krabs was the cook on the SS Diarrhea, and then another George Washington nose stamp. There's several of these. Busy day at the Sulaks. There's a lot of these. They must have been, clearly it looks like they've enjoyed both Jackson and Sault Ste. Marie, because there's a number of these postcards. We're almost at the end here. So again, we can't show the double-cheeked lady. That's all right. But we can show a little deer with a bear behind. It's kind of an old school. I think the light was kicking my butt just a little bit. That's cool looking. A father and son, Atlanta, Michigan. Trying to figure out how to. It's the light from the glass window over there. And here is a skeleton on a toilet. The lost WPA worker. That's probably like Water Public Authority or something. They might have had an issue there with it's from I guess hunting camp or something. Dear Auntie, we are all okay and having a swell time. Judy knocked Judy. That's what it says, but it says Judy knocked down his buck and lost him. We're almost dead because Leighton's cooking. Don't worry, we are okay, Ray. That's sweet. Again, it's hard to underestimate like the convenience of texting and calling and stuff, but you lose a lot of the memories of taking the time to really put your words into thoughts that convey something that, like if you're going to write a letter and it's going to take, or a postcard it's going to take 2 days, 3 days, a week, or something, you tend to put more thought in that response or that correspondence than, hey, sup bro, want pizza? Cool, thanks, take care, bye. So I don't know, I love that kind of stuff. But that was the again, I think $10 or $10 lot of old stuff like that I picked up a couple weeks ago. That was my first purchase ever in an auction, so I've got more coming, but thanks for tuning in. Some of that stuff was probably really boring, but I just thought it was an interesting, again, a little bit of a paper time capsule into the past and parts of Michigan and things in general. So thanks for watching and have a good day.